Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. My name is Scott Reich, and this is Crime Talk, the most fact-driven, unbiased true crime channel. Today, we look at why Chad Daybell is more than likely guilty. Now, obviously, we'll give him the presumption of innocence until and if he pleads guilty or a jury convicts him. But as of right now, let's take a look at the facts that don't work out so well for Chad. A little background first. Now, Chad Daybell pled not guilty to the murder and conspiracy charges he faces in connection to the deaths of his ex-wife, Tammy Daybell, and the two children of his current wife, Lori Vallow, JJ Vallow, and Tylee Ryan. Now, here's a quick timeline of the events. On August of 2019, Lori Daybell and her children moved to Idaho. On September of 2019, JJ and Tylee go missing. October of 2019, Chad Daybell's wife, Tammy, dies. In November of 2019, Lori and Chad Daybell marry in Idaho just 2 weeks after the death of Tammy. Now, the police conduct a welfare check at Chad Daybell's home for JJ at the request of his grandmother. Now, Chad and Lori Daybell leave Idaho. They go to Hawaii in December. In December of 2019, a nationwide search ensues for the children. Now, in January of 2020, Chad and Lori Daybell, they're found in Hawaii. In February of 2020, Lori Daybell is served with a court order to produce her children. After failing to produce the children, Lori Daybell is arrested on multiple charges regarding an abandonment of her children. In March of 2020, Lori Daybell is extradited back to Idaho. Well, in June of 2020, the remains of JJ and Tylee are found buried on Chad Daybell's Idaho property. He is also arrested and charged. Now, in February of 2021, the Office of the Utah Medical Examiner completes an autopsy of Tammy Daybell's body and sends the results to the Idaho prosecutors. In May of 2021, Chad and Lori Daybell are indicted on multiple first-degree murder charges. So that's a quick recap of the timeline. Let's take a quick recess before we continue on. All right, aficionados, it's that time. Yep. Please go to crimetalkprep.com and you can get 4 weeks of an emergency food kit at $50 off and no shipping. This is a huge deal, okay? Look at the people in New Orleans right now. Natural disaster hits, the power is off. I think it was just coming back on, but guess what? Those individuals, they're on their own. And after the natural disaster or some sort of significant event happens, is not the time to run to the grocery store because there's nothing there. You have to prepare. Do the adult thing. Be prepared for anything that comes your way. Go to crimetalkprep.com. Get your 4-week emergency food kit, $50 off, and free shipping. You'll be happy you did. Now, what is it that looks bad for Chad Daybell? Well, first, there's a lot of phone calls and text messages. Now, Lori calls Chad from the Madison County Jail on June 9th of 2020. Lori Daybell says, "Are you okay?" Chad Daybell says, "No, they're searching the property." Police and FBI investigators searched Chad Daybell's Salem, Idaho property that day and ultimately uncovered the remains of JJ Vallow and Tylee Ryan. The bodies were found on his property. The children were last seen on different days in September of 2019 in June of 2020. Now, law enforcement officials found the remains on Chad Daybell's property in Fremont County. The children were buried in a so-called pet cemetery on Daybell's property. Now, prosecutor Rob Wood said during a Zoom court hearing that the way one of the bodies was concealed was particularly egregious. Though he did not elaborate, it was later revealed that JJ was wrapped in 2 plastic trash bags and bound with tape. Tylee's badly charred and dismembered remains were excavated nearby. Later, a photo showed JJ sitting on a couch taken on September 22nd of 2019. He was wearing the red pajamas that were in the photo. Investigators say JJ was wearing red pajamas when they uncovered his body in Chad Daybell's backyard. He is believed to have died around September 23rd of 2019. This certainly looks bad, but that's right. 2 weeks after his wife died, Chad Daybell married Lori Vallow. A few days later, after her children were last seen and their spouses died not long before, the pair married. Now, Daybell's wife, Tammy Daybell, died in her sleep, allegedly, last October, with her death attributed to natural causes. However, her death has since been reclassified as suspicious. Her body was then exhumed in December, and through the results of the autopsies, although they have not been released, it is alleged through the family that she died of asphyxiation. The next bad fact. Well, they flew to Hawaii when the children were declared missing. The children's disappearance became national news after Daybell and Vallow abruptly left Idaho following questioning by police of the disappearance of Tylee, 17, and JJ, 7, and about the same time as Tammy Daybell's death. The couple had a wedding ceremony in Hawaii, and when investigators searched the property Chad and Lori were living at in Hawaii, there were no signs that the children were with them whatsoever. If this case wasn't so serious, they would be dumb criminal contestants for sure. All right, then we have the whole raccoon thing. Well, I've had an interesting morning. I felt I should burn all of the limb debris by the fire pit before it got too soaked by the coming storms. That's right. That's what Chad Daybell wrote his then wife Tammy Daybell at 11:53 a.m. on September 9th of 2019. While I did so, I spotted a big raccoon along the fence. I hurried and got my gun, and he was still walking along. I got close enough, and that one shot did the trick. He is now in our pet cemetery. Fun times. Now, agents believe that the text was unusually detailed compared to the couple's regular exchange and was sent the day after Tylee Ryan was last seen alive in Yellowstone National Park. Investigators also found it strange because raccoons are nocturnal and would not normally be out and about at this time of day. Now, the FBI searched Chad Daybell's pet cemetery and found cats and dogs, but guess what? No raccoon. Let's talk about the fire pit. According to the affidavit for probable cause, Garth Daybell, Chad's son and neighbor, told neighbors Matt and Regan Price that his father had shot a raccoon on their property in July of 2019. This was after the Prices were asked about the gunshot that they had heard. The Prices informed investigators that the fire pit in Chad Daybell's backyard was hardly ever used until the last few months. Regan Price said that there appeared to be frequent bonfires in the pit on the Daybell property. The first one she noticed was soon after Tammy's death on October 19th of 2019. Next, tools in the garage. Court documents reveal that law enforcement officials have ordered DNA testing for tools found on Chad Daybell's property and a possible blood sample found in an apartment. Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow's attorneys also demanded that the defense be provided all records, reports, and documentation of DNA testing that has already been conducted. Now, in a court hearing just the other day, prosecutors agreed to halt the DNA testing as they work with the defense on stipulations regarding the evidence. The judge did not set a future hearing date on DNA testing. Then we have Tammy Daybell's autopsy. It hasn't been released and may not ever be released until after this case, but this could be the smoking gun. We do know through the family that they were told that she died of asphyxiation. The children claimed that their mother was suffering from declining physical health, and they stand behind their father, Chad Daybell, and cannot believe that he would have killed his wife and their mother. How about the alleged fraud? According to prosecutors, Chad Daybell increased Tammy's life insurance policy and texted with Lori Vallow about his wife being in limbo and Tammy being possessed by a spirit named Viola. Chad Daybell was charged with 2 counts of insurance fraud after he allegedly lied to collect benefit from Tammy Daybell's life insurance policy. So certainly those are some of the reasons why Chad Daybell is probably going to be found guilty at trial. I know there's more. Let me know your thoughts in the comment below. Do you think he's going to walk, or do you think he's going to be found guilty?